Thomas Jefferson's words are as true today as when he said them over 200 years ago. I agree with Thomas Jefferson and believe that an insurmountable public debt can and will destroy our currency, economy, and infrastructure, and that it is by far the most pressing issue our country faces today. Because of this, I find it more important now than ever to remind the people of the words that John Kennedy spoke at his inauguration address in 1961. My fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. No matter who I talk to, Republican or Democrat, I always hear the same thing. What is the government going to do about this? How is the government going to fix this problem? What is the government going to do for me, for my family, for my people, for the middle class? All I hear is the same question over and over again. What will they do for this group? For my group? We constantly divide ourselves into special interests and trick ourselves into believing that our problems are more important than others and never worry about the country as a whole. This is a mistake. No special group is more important than the country as a whole. No one should be more important than anyone else in the eyes of the government. The government is not here to provide for everyone's wants and needs and take care of us from cradle to the grave. That's called communism, and history shows us that it doesn't end well for any involved. The government's purpose is to provide equal opportunity for everyone and no one in specific. This way, the hardest working, most devoted, most knowledgeable, and best of their kind may rise to the top and succeed and achieve what they work so hard for. There are other countries in the world that are communists, where people are told that they are equal and forced to be equal by law. They have little to no room for economic liberty and advancement. They can only imagine opportunities to raise their children in better living conditions and neighborhoods than they grew up in. Their government determines how much money they should make, no matter how hard or how little they work, and do not consider how good they are at their job. The people have no room to distinguish themselves. They are only allowed to own so much land, if any at all, and in some cases they are not even allowed to choose their professions, and the government chooses for them. Communist countries' economies are stagnant. They do not and never will adequately meet supply and demand because the economy is centrally managed and is too distant from the wants and needs of the people. Also, there are many known human rights violations in these countries. It is not being equal that makes us all great. Equality is not what we should strive for as individuals or as a nation. It is our individualism that distinguishes us and allows us to pursue the lives we wish to live. It's the Steve Jobs, the Joe Louis, and the Ben Carsons which truly make our country great. It's because someone who starts with so little has the opportunity to make the life or impact that they always wanted, as long as they make wise decisions and are willing to devote themselves to their cause. It is because a passionate fire burns brightly in these special individuals that our country establishes grounds for these great people to flourish. It is liberty that allows people to share their ideas, their creations, and personalities for all of us to enjoy. Now it is important to understand, liberty is a two-sided coin. For when we as a people are truly free, only we determine whether or not we succeed. And while liberty fosters greatness and many successes, it can also lead others to failure. The Constitution protects our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Nowhere does it say the government must provide for and nourish us, or that we have the right to be successful. There is no rule that if we are unable or unwilling to make the life we desire become reality, that someone else is responsible for making it happen. The government owes us very little in that regard, and we cannot blame the government for why our dreams don't come true. Some tell us to be afraid of liberty, that not everyone will turn out okay. This is true, just like any other form of government. Not everyone will turn out okay. Not everyone will get their fairy tale ending, but the majority of us will succeed, and no one can keep us from success except ourselves. The majority will surpass all the expectations that we ever dreamed for ourselves. People are such powerful creatures. When we believe in ourselves and stop blaming others and the government for our situations, when we start devoting ourselves to a cause and stop expecting the world to give us things, when we start thinking of ways to make our dreams come true and stop thinking that just by being alive we deserve some kind of reward. It is unbelievable how much one person can achieve. One person with a dream, like Martin Luther King, can literally change the world forever. We must not fear liberty, and we must understand that liberty is what makes us. Vote Joshua Pickett 2016 so we can start fixing the broken.